Imagine standing before the Great Pyramid of Giza. 2.3 million stone blocks, each weighing up to 80 tons, aligned perfectly to true north with a precision that modern engineers struggle to replicate. Now, imagine discovering that halfway across the world, a civilization that supposedly had zero contact with Egypt built the exact same thing. Same angles, same astronomical alignments, same impossible precision. Coincidence? Maybe. But what if I told you this pattern repeats, not twice, not 3 times, but across 10 ancient civilizations scattered across every continent? Welcome to the History Mysteries. Today, we're uncovering the unexplained connections that link the ancient world in ways that shatter everything we thought we knew about human history. Let's dive in. We begin our countdown at number 10 in the highlands of Bolivia, where the ruins of Tiwanaku sit at 12,000 feet above sea level. But here's what makes archaeologists lose sleep at night. The stones at Pumapunku aren't just big, they're cut with a precision that requires advanced machinery. We're talking about perfectly flat surfaces, exact 90-degree angles, and interlocking blocks that fit together like a 3-dimensional puzzle. The largest stone weighs 130 tons. It was transported from a quarry 10 miles away, across a lake, and up a mountain. Without wheels, without iron tools, without modern technology, the Tiwanaku people supposedly used stone hammers and copper chisels. Try cutting diorite, one of the hardest stones on Earth, with copper. It's like trying to slice steel with butter. But here's where it gets really strange. When engineers analyzed these cuts under microscopes, they found evidence of machine tooling. Perfectly uniform grooves, identical depths, the kind of precision you'd expect from a computer-controlled cutting system. In 500 AD, keep this impossible precision in mind, because you're about to see it again, and again, and again. But first, let's travel 8,000 miles west. Easter Island, the most isolated inhabited place on Earth. 2,000 miles from the nearest civilization. 887 giant stone statues, the moai. The average moai weighs 14 tons. The largest, 82 tons. They were carved from volcanic rock in a quarry, then somehow transported up to 11 miles across the island and erected on platforms. The Rapa Nui people had no metal tools, no wheels, no large animals, no written records of how they did it. Modern researchers have tried to replicate the process. They've used ropes, logs, sledges, and hundreds of people. The best they could do? Move a statue a few hundred feet before giving up from exhaustion. Yet the Rapa Nui moved nearly 900 of them, some uphill, some across rough terrain. But here's the connection that should make your spine tingle. The moai aren't just randomly placed, they're astronomically aligned. They face specific celestial points. Just like the pyramids in Egypt, just like the temples we're about to visit. An isolated island, no contact with the outside world. Yet they possessed the same advanced astronomical knowledge. How? Hold that question, because civilization number 8 makes it even stranger. Angkor Wat, the largest religious monument ever built, constructed in the 12th century by the Khmer Empire. But don't let that relatively recent date fool you. What the Khmer achieved defies explanation. The temple complex covers 400 acres. It contains 5 million tons of sandstone. Each block was transported from quarries 25 miles away. But here's what keeps archaeologists up at night. Angkor Wat is a massive astronomical calendar. The temple's dimensions encode the cycles of the sun, moon, and planets. The main tower aligns perfectly with the spring equinox. The galleries represent the lunar calendar. Sound familiar? It should, because this is the exact same astronomical precision we see in Egypt, built 3,000 years earlier. The same precision we see in Maya temples, built 1,000 miles away. Three civilizations, 3 continents, 3 different time periods, 0 documented contact. Yet they all encoded the same cosmic knowledge into stone monuments that have lasted millennia. The Khmer had no telescopes, no satellites, no modern instruments. So how did they calculate celestial cycles with accuracy that rivals NASA? And why did they feel compelled to encode this knowledge in stone? Just like civilizations they supposedly never met. The answer might lie with civilization number 7. The Nazca lines, massive geoglyphs carved into the Peruvian desert between 500 BC and 500 AD. We're talking about designs so large you can only see them from the air. A spider spanning 150 feet, a monkey stretching 360 feet, geometric patterns running for miles in perfectly straight lines. Here's the problem. The Nazca people had no flying machines, no hot air balloons, no way to see these designs from above. From ground level, they're invisible, just random trenches in the dirt. You need to be at least 1,000 feet in the air to see the complete pictures. So why create artwork you can never see? Some say they're astronomical calendars. Others claim they're religious offerings to sky gods. But here's what nobody can explain. The lines are perfectly straight. Some run for miles without deviating even an inch. The curves are mathematically precise circles and spirals. To create this level of accuracy, you need aerial surveying. You need to see the big picture from above, just like you'd need to see the pyramids from above to align them perfectly with Orion's belt. Just like you'd need to see Angkor Wat from above to create its astronomical precision. Are you starting to see the pattern? Ancient civilizations, separated by oceans and centuries, all possessed knowledge that required an aerial perspective they supposedly didn't have. But civilization number 6 takes this impossibility to a whole new level. The Olmec, the mother culture of Mesoamerica, thriving from 1500 to 400 BC. They left behind 17 colossal stone heads, each weighing up to 50 tons, carved from single blocks of basalt. But it's not the size that's controversial. It's the faces. Look at them. Really look. Those aren't Native American features. The broad noses, the full lips, the facial structure. They're African. Mainstream archaeology dismisses this as coincidence. But here's what they can't dismiss. The Olmec had African crops, specifically the bottle gourd and cotton species that are indigenous to Africa. DNA analysis confirms these plants originated in Africa and somehow appeared in Mexico thousands of years before Columbus. The Atlantic Ocean is 5,000 miles wide. The Olmec had no documented seafaring technology capable of crossing it. Yet somehow, African people, African plants, and African cultural elements appeared in ancient Mexico. Modern experiments have proven it's possible to cross the Atlantic in primitive boats. Thor Heyerdahl did it in 1970 with the Ra-2, a papyrus reed boat based on ancient Egyptian designs. But if ancient Africans reached Mexico, what knowledge did they bring with them? And does this explain why Olmec pyramids look suspiciously similar to Egyptian ones? Keep that thought, because civilization number 5 is about to blow your mind. Mesopotamia, 4500 BC. Humanity is supposed to be living in primitive villages, barely beyond the Stone Age. Then suddenly, and I mean suddenly, the Sumerians appear. Fully formed cities, complex writing systems, advanced mathematics, sophisticated astronomy, legal codes, architecture, agriculture, medicine. It's like someone hit the fast-forward button on human civilization. The Sumerians didn't gradually develop writing. They had it from day one. Complete with grammar, syntax, and over 2,000 characters. They didn't slowly learn astronomy. They already knew the solar system had planets beyond what the naked eye could see. They knew Earth was round. They knew the precession of the equinoxes, a 26,000-year cycle that requires centuries of observation to calculate. How did they know this? Their own texts say the knowledge was given to them by the Apkallu, the 7 sages, who came from the sea and taught them everything. Now, mainstream scholars call this mythology, but here's the thing. Every civilization we've discussed so far has the same story. The Egyptians credit Thoth, the god of knowledge. The Maya speak of Kukulkan, the feathered serpent who brought wisdom. The Tiwanaku have Viracocha, the bearded teacher from the sea. Different names, different cultures, different continents, same story. Advanced knowledge given by mysterious teachers from elsewhere. Coincidence? Or is there something we're missing about the ancient world? Civilization number 4 suggests the latter. Göbekli Tepe, the site that rewrote human history. When archaeologists discovered it in 1994, they couldn't believe what they were seeing. Massive stone temples, intricate carvings, astronomical alignments, sophisticated architecture. Built in 9600 BC. Let that sink in. 9600 BC. That's 11,600 years ago. This is 6,000 years before Stonehenge, 7,000 years before the pyramids. This was built when humans were supposed to be primitive hunter-gatherers living in caves. We're not talking about simple stone circles. These are engineered structures with pillars weighing up to 20 tons, carved with complex reliefs of animals, abstract symbols, and humanoid figures. The precision is stunning. Perfect right angles, smooth surfaces, detailed three-dimensional carvings that would challenge modern sculptors. But here's what shatters everything we thought we knew about human civilization. Göbekli Tepe required organization, planning, a large workforce, specialized skills, food surplus to feed workers who weren't hunting or gathering. In other words, it required civilization. But according to every history textbook, civilization didn't exist yet. Agriculture hadn't been invented. cities were still 5,000 years away, unless we're wrong about when civilization actually began. And just like every other site we visited, Göbekli Tepe is astronomically aligned. The pillars track the summer solstice. The layout mirrors constellations. Specifically, they appear to depict a comet strike that occurred around 10,950 BC. The same impossible knowledge, the same cosmic obsession, but this time, it's 6,000 years before the pyramids, which means either these ancient peoples independently discovered the same advanced knowledge across thousands of years and thousands of miles, or there was a source, an earlier civilization, a lost knowledge that spread across the ancient world. And here's the terrifying part. Archaeologists estimate they've only excavated 5% of Göbekli Tepe. The rest remains buried, waiting. What secrets lie beneath? Civilization number 3 provides a tantalizing clue. The Indus Valley civilization, flourishing from 3300 to 1300 BC across what is now Pakistan and northwest India. While Egypt was building pyramids and Mesopotamia was developing cuneiform, the Indus Valley was doing something even more remarkable. They were building the world's first planned cities: Mohenjo-Daro, Harappa, Dholavira. These weren't random settlements that grew organically. They were designed from the ground up. Perfect grid patterns, standardized brick sizes, every brick in every city made to the exact same ratio of 4:2:1. Advanced drainage systems, public baths, multi-story buildings, indoor plumbing. In 2500 BC, every house had a bathroom connected to a sophisticated sewage system. Covered drains ran under every street, with inspection holes for maintenance. The engineering rivals modern cities. Rome wouldn't achieve this level of sanitation for another 2,000 years. But here's the mystery that haunts archaeologists. The Indus script. Over 400 unique symbols found on thousands of artifacts. It's one of the world's oldest writing systems, and we can't read it. Despite decades of research, despite advanced computer analysis, despite comparing it to every known ancient language, it remains undeciphered, which means we have no idea how they achieved this level of sophistication. No instruction manuals, no historical records, no explanation for their advanced urban planning. Their standardized weights and measures, their long-distance trade networks. And yes, they had trade networks. Indus Valley seals have been found in Mesopotamia, 1,500 miles away. Mesopotamian artifacts appear in Indus cities, so these civilizations were in contact. Knowledge was being shared across thousands of miles. But here's the question that should terrify you. Around 1900 BC, the Indus Valley civilization just vanished. The cities were abandoned. The people disappeared. The writings stopped. No signs of war, no invasion, no natural disaster, no explanation. In Mohenjo-Daro, archaeologists found skeletons lying in the streets, as if people died suddenly and were never buried. Some show signs of intense heat, but there's no evidence of fire. They just left behind their impossible cities and their unreadable script. What did they know? Where did they go? And did their knowledge survive? Civilization number 2 suggests it did. The Maya, rising to prominence around 2000 BC and reaching their peak between 250 and 900 AD. By now, you know what's coming. Massive pyramids, astronomical precision, advanced mathematics, sophisticated writing. But the Maya took it to another level entirely. The Mayan calendar is more accurate than the one we use today. They calculated the solar year as 365.2420 days. Modern astronomy puts it at 365.2422 days. They were off by 0.0002 days. Without telescopes, without computers, without modern instruments. They tracked Venus with such precision that their calculations are accurate to within 2 hours over a 500-year period. NASA uses their Venus tables because they're more accurate than modern observations from the 1900s. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. Twice a year, during the spring and autumn equinoxes, the setting sun creates a shadow on the pyramid of Kukulkan that looks exactly like a serpent descending the stairs. This isn't an accident. The Maya engineered this effect using precise angles, specific step heights, and exact orientations. They calculated the sun's position on specific days, factored in the Earth's axial tilt, and built a structure that creates a perfect shadow puppet show, twice a year, for over 1,000 years. Now remember, the Maya supposedly had no contact with Egypt. Yet look at this. Step pyramids. Same basic design. Same astronomical alignments. Same obsession with the cardinal directions. The Maya aligned their pyramids to true north with 0.05-degree accuracy. The Great Pyramid? 0.05-degree accuracy. The Maya independently invented the concept of zero, one of the most important mathematical discoveries in human history. The only other civilizations to do this? The Babylonians and Indians, all separated by oceans, all arriving at the same breakthrough. And their writing system? Fully developed. Complex grammar. Over 800 glyphs, capable of expressing any thought in their language. Sound familiar? Just like the Sumerians, the Maya appeared with a complete writing system. No primitive versions, no gradual development. It's as if they inherited it from somewhere else. But civilization number one, this is where everything comes together. And finally, we arrive at number one, ancient Egypt, the civilization that started this entire mystery. The Great Pyramid of Giza. 2.3 million stone blocks, 481 feet tall, aligned to true north with 0.05-degree accuracy. Built, according to mainstream archaeology, around 2560 BC by workers using copper tools and wooden sledges. But after everything we've seen, does that explanation hold up? Think about it. We've just traveled across 10 ancient civilizations, spanning 7,000 years and every inhabited continent. And what did we find? Impossible stone-cutting precision. Astronomical alignments requiring centuries of observation. Mathematical knowledge that rivals modern calculations. Pyramid construction across cultures with zero contact. Advanced urban planning and engineering. Sudden appearance of complex writing systems. Shared stories of knowledge bringers from the sea. 10 civilizations. 10 impossible achievements. 10 unexplained connections. The three pyramids at Giza perfectly mirror the three stars of Orion's belt. Not just their positions, but their relative brightness. The slightly offset third pyramid matches the slightly dimmer third star. The Egyptians called Orion Sa, the dwelling place of Osiris, the god who brought civilization to Egypt. According to their own texts, the Egyptians didn't invent their knowledge, it was given to them by the gods. Thoth, the god of wisdom. Osiris, the civilizer. We've heard this story before, haven't we? The Sumerian Apkallu, the Mayan Kukulkan, the Tiwanaku Viracocha. Different names, different cultures, different continents, different millennia, same story. And then there's the Sphinx. Mainstream archaeology dates it to 2500 BC, but geological evidence suggests something very different. The erosion patterns on the Sphinx aren't from wind and sand. They're from water, heavy rainfall, the kind of rainfall that hasn't occurred in Egypt since 10,000 BC, the same time period as Göbekli Tepe. If the Sphinx is really that old, it means there was an advanced civilization in Egypt thousands of years before the pharaohs. A civilization capable of monumental architecture. A civilization that might have been the source. So what connects these 10 ancient civilizations? Was it independent discovery? Did humans across the globe, separated by oceans and centuries, somehow arrive at the same impossible knowledge through pure coincidence? Or was there contact? Transoceanic voyages we've lost to history. A global network of knowledge sharing that predates recorded civilization? Or, and this is the possibility that mainstream archaeology refuses to seriously consider, was there a source civilization? An advanced culture that existed before the last ice age ended 11,700 years ago? A civilization that was destroyed by the cataclysmic climate changes, rising sea levels, and possible comet impacts that marked the end of the Younger Dryas period? Think about it. If sea levels rose 400 feet at the end of the Ice Age, every coastal civilization would have been wiped out. And where do humans build civilizations? On coastlines, near water. Which means the evidence of any pre-Ice Age civilization is now under 400 feet of ocean. We're only beginning to explore the ocean floor. And we're already finding structures that shouldn't exist. Underwater pyramids, submerged cities, ancient harbors now miles offshore. What if the survivors of this lost civilization spread across the world? What if they brought their knowledge to primitive tribes and taught them astronomy, mathematics, architecture, agriculture? What if the gods and knowledge bringers weren't supernatural beings, but the last survivors of an advanced civilization trying to preserve their knowledge before it vanished forever? That would explain Göbekli Tepe's impossible sophistication at the dawn of history. It would explain why the Sumerians appeared fully formed with complete knowledge. It would explain the Indus Valley's advanced urban planning with no apparent development period. It would explain why the Olmec, Maya, and Egyptians all built pyramids using the same astronomical principles. It would explain the shared stories of teachers from the sea. It would explain the sudden appearance of complex writing systems. It would explain the impossible precision we see carved in stone across every continent. 10 civilizations. One lost source. A legacy encoded in stone, because stone survives when everything else turns to dust. But here's the real question. What else is buried beneath our feet? What other sites like Göbekli Tepe remain undiscovered? What knowledge is still waiting in unexcavated ruins, underwater cities, and ancient texts we haven't yet learned to read? The Indus Valley script remains undeciphered. Thousands of Mayan codices were burned by Spanish conquistadors. Countless Egyptian texts were lost when the Library of Alexandria burned. How much knowledge have we lost? How much remains hidden? The ancient world is speaking to us through these monuments. They built them to last forever. They encoded their knowledge in stone and alignment and mathematical precision. They left us a message. We just haven't fully understood it yet, but we're getting closer. This is the History Mysteries, where we dig deeper into the past to uncover the truths that history forgot. What do you think connects these ancient civilizations? Independent discovery? Ancient contact? Or a lost source civilization that predates recorded history? Drop your theories in the comments below. And if you want to dive deeper into any of these mysteries, check out our other videos on ancient empires and unexplained phenomena. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because we're just getting started uncovering the secrets of the ancient world. The past isn't as dead as they taught you in school. It's waiting to be rediscovered.